And so the key is to try and make sure that legislation stays. That's why, one of the other reasons why I've given a couple of talks about it is I don't want to see abuse of this system, because we don't want to give the General Assembly and the governor a reason to repeal something that we think is very valid. We're seeing, again, to slice the pie off, and in the future to get legislation, we're looking at possibly doing it where we have a right in school speed zones. Then we don't have to commit an officer all the time to be watching a school speed zone with a radar gun, and so that's a goal. Park speed zones, as we all know, there's legislation that's enhanced the penalties for speeding in the park areas, and that's another one. We are working at collecting statistics that will support this, and we're interested in working with other communities in developing those statistics. And we've talked with Northwestern University's Traffic Institute. They're going to be helping us churn through those numbers. They're a very valid group in what's going on. That is what I had, and I wanted to leave a couple minutes for any questions that I could answer. Yes, sir?
For repeat offenders, does the fine go up? If they're in 2 or 3 times, what happens with their fine?
You know what? That's a good point. That is not what we've done so far. But that's another paradigm shift that we may be able to make in the future. The one other thing we're looking at is if there's 10 tickets or more like this, like they have in the parking tickets, they can get their driver's license suspended and their plates pulled. And one of the things that we're examining now is with one of the vendors, they cover the collection group, or actually any of the vendors, where they cover more than one suburb. We're trying to see if we can aggregate the tickets. So if the vendor has 2 in Bellwood and 3 over in Melrose and a couple elsewhere, the concept is, and we think it can be aggregated, and so very candidly, we're probably going to move forward on doing it that way, and then let someone come in and tell us we can't. Oh, okay, sir.
Have you noticed that has it affected your police staffing or manning at all, either through layoffs or through attrition or anything like that?
Absolutely not. What we're looking at, and anything we're doing with our video surveillance, with this, is a force extender. There's a couple of things. It's energized our police officers. In fact, we have another officer in the academy. We're talking about hiring 2 more officers. There's never been a goal, this was always explained to the officers, that we're trying to give them additional tools of the trade. It's a technology era, and we've made it very clear to our officers. I mean, we're actually getting now, and we're testing live video off the dashboards of the squad cars, and for officers to be supporting that means we must be doing the right stuff. Yes, sir?
Who determines the timing sequence when a car enters the intersection and when the camera records a red light violation?
Well, that's actually been pretty much set. The engineers set it, and it's a very clearly defined, and I can go. There's a lot of technical issues in it, but it's pretty much what I have seen with the vendors, pretty much standard with every single vendor. The actual timings. I mean, our goal is not to just trying to grab people because it's going to get us in trouble. Our goal is the fact that if it's a yellow and they moved out into that intersection. If they're in the intersection, it goes yellow. It's not going to trip. It's not going to take their picture. Our point is there's a white line out there, and if it's yellow and they cross that white line, they're violating. So it's pretty clearly defined in that regard. And most of the thing we're looking at is speed, and especially on the right turns. They got to stop completely before they make that right turn. Yes, sir?
Out of 100 tickets that go through that your officer is reviewing,
that's correct.
What percentage will he throw out there?
We're probably seeing about 3 or 4% that get thrown out, and it's a variety of reasons. One, we still got people, it's against the law, they're putting those blank outs on the on their license plates. Some of them, I'll tell you just a real fast story. We had a repossessor go through. You know how they got those interesting, like, low number plates with their little things? Well, the officer read it, and I'm just using this as an example, and it turned out that it was a Supreme Court Justice's plate number. The Supreme Court Justice got the ticket instead of the repossessor, and it was because the border around it kind of obscured the information. We don't like to give Supreme Court Justices tickets, but even they weren't above law. And this got brought to our attention. We reviewed it, said, you're right, So the Supreme Court Justice tried their case and won it. But the reality is we're not seeing a lot of throwouts, and it's screened, first of all, by the company, so make sure we have valid stuff, and then we go forward. Yes, sir, in the back.
Do you ever get any stolen cars that you find?
Absolutely. With regularity, we get them coming through. And one of the other things we look for is when we have a crime or an issue, we go back and review video, and we have actually found things. We had a carjacking one time, same thing.
Follow-up question. Are you aware that on the new stickers, they are now putting your license plate number on the stickers?
Yes, yes.
I found that out when I renewed mine a couple of weeks ago. And
Right.
I set it downstairs in the...
Right. And part of that's because of the stealing of those stickers and things. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With the,
Are these recordings a series of photos, or are they continuous videotape?
well, actually, and it's funny you asked me that question, and I will just give you, actually, it's both. It's a series of videotapes, and it's still photos. You know, as a footnote to you, Senator Senator Jones, we had a situation develop where the good senator's car went through in the middle of the night, actually right while we were trying to get a bill out of a committee. And we actually had to have the 12-second clip brought up. It turned out it was his son. And he stood there and he looked at it, and he said, nothing. He said, can I have that? And that was the end of the discussion. You know what the point is the validity behind them is such that once people see it, I mean, how can you argue? Yes, sir.
All right.
Let me just take the next one.
I'm an alderman from Wooddale, and we're trying to get a light on Thorndale and Wooddale Road. Now, Thorndale is a state highway, Wooddale Road is a county highway, and we're having a trouble. We've had very bad accidents over there. A couple people have been killed, and we're having a hard job getting either one of them to agree to put it on. Now, I realize that you did it more in public streets in Bellwood than we're trying to do this on county and state highway.
Right.
And we can't seem to get anywhere.
But see, now, those are the kind of issues that develop that we need to look either at changing the law or changing certain regulations. And so, you know, the vendors and IML and things, we can look at some of those issues. And
the area is in Wooddale, and when our squad cars get out there, everybody's doing 55, 60
Absolutely.
miles an hour, and we had a squad car just got wiped out, and we're having a tough job, but we're still working on it. And so if you people are thinking about this, that is something you got to watch.
right. I think we're going to have to end it. I'm more than happy to spend a couple minutes here talking to other people because I didn't want to go over to the next group's time. What I just got showing up here, and we'll shut this down, but is kind of what you're going to see, what the officer sees, and how we can enhance the plates. And this happens to be a red speed version, but this is the way we use the adjudication, show liable, not liable. This is the adjudication page. So kind of just put that up there so everyone can see that. Sorry.
Thank you, and thank you, Roy. Remember, one of the comments we got when we started this, that this is going to replace police officers. Not necessarily true. We're increasing our police department. These cameras are not set up so we can reduce police officers. That was some of the opposition. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. We thank you. Please continue to support our IML. It's important.
You're watching the Illinois Channel, an independent nonprofit corporation formed to provide gavel-to-gavel coverage of Illinois state government and other public affairs events taking place across Illinois. If you have any comments or questions on our programming, please email us at illinoischannel@aol.com. Or if you have any questions about the Illinois Channel, please visit our website at www.illinoischannel.org.